let's go ahead and proceed to the next areas, and so I can see what's in the system, and then I can execute a search for you. Let me go to the Planning tab. Okay. Okay, so under the Planning tab, similar to the Home tab, you have your search functionality, you have your activities, which are going to, as you see here, are different. You have federal programs and county programs. Then you have your strategic plans, which include also have KPIs, and finally your reports. The reports you can access throughout all the other different phases also. What I want to do is quickly cover just overview of what the information is. The federal programs here are the compilation of information at the federal level, programs available at the federal level. This is informational only, so if you deal with any type of federal grants that you're applying for, that you commonly apply for, we would download. This is downloaded for you, and you have to decide which information you want to download, but we could do that. And you would be able to view and have this information handy. Okay, so I'm just showing you the information that's available in there. It's kind of just regular information about the programs out there available. The county programs are the programs that you are usually going to be applying for. Okay, so these are the ones that you might create, and they're going to basically capture capture basically all the information, all the activities and supporting resources, everything that's contained within an administrative framework that you're using with the purpose of implementing some type of framework within the county, right? So these general programs are the ones that are going to dictate what funding opportunities you follow. Below this, I can to create. Let me just show you how you would go about creating a program. You'll notice that in any of all the other phases, any table, the functionality works very similar. When you want to add something, when you want to create something, in this case I'm working on county programs. I have the table displayed here in the middle of the page, listing all the county programs available. If I want to create a new one or add one, there's going to be on the right-hand side a new button or an add button. In this case, they have been labeled new. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the new button. And that'll open the information, and basically you can key in any information that you want. Well, you would key in the information that you have available in your system or at the county with regards to programs. You can paste most of the information in this box here under the description. The key items here are anything that has a red asterisk must be populated, okay, in order to be able to save this record. If you see an arrow next to the value, that means you may have a drop down for them. So in this case, the primary funder type, it could be federal, state, NGO, or county. And then a subtype, that'd be something that you would know what type of grant this is that you're trying to pursue, that this program is going to support. It's going to be with regards to formula grants or block grants. And the county organization that you're going to assign to that program. So it might just be OC Public Works. Let me go back to this search functionality. So notice when I pick the once I pick the item, I can hover over it, and I would have some basic information for that item. In this case, OC Public Works. I know who the parent organization is. We have to yet assign it a code and an abbreviation, but that would be displayed if we had assigned that to this. I'm going to go ahead and cancel. No need to save a program right now. And I am going to go ahead and move down and talk about, I'm going to start from the bottom up just to talk about what else we have in this screen. The grant award task, that's just the service area. It's another way of breaking down your budgets, your budget categories. So these represent different service areas if you need that. It's a feature offered. You don't have to use it. We do have a County of Orange OCWR default grant award task that we had defined for you in production. So you'll have one already set up. Again, it's a way to further break down your budget categories. Have a summary or a higher grouping of those budget categories. The key performance indicators on the left-hand side here again. Notice the table again. It's the same table with the new button. So and I'm going to click on new. These are just, again, another feature that we offer. It's not required, but if you do want to track performance, we enable you to assign indicators, and we provide a whole list of domains that we're calling in this case, kind of different areas that you may want to assign it. But there is you can give it any title you want to. The key thing here, and any description, the two items that are important that I want to describe is the unit of measurement. Notice it just provides, it could either be, if you're tracking an increase in the dollar amount, then it obviously would be dollars, or a percentage increase in the number of roads cleaned, whatever it be. But you have quite a variety of units that you can track by. All these are configurable. We can add different ones if need be. You can change these at any point in time. The indicators indicates, for lack of a better word, increase, decrease, flat. This tells you which direction you're tracking. In other words, I'm expecting an increase for this KPI, this specific KPI. Once again, I'm expecting to increase the coverage. It could be that you're expecting to decrease the amount of potholes on the road, something like that. Or you don't care. You care that it's flat. You're just monitoring the activity as is. A KPI indicator, that's again a feature. You can create those, and then the key here, I'm going to cancel out of that one, is that you can assign those and use those throughout when you're creating your funding opportunities and the grant awards in the end, and then measure and track them throughout the life. Finally, we get to the strategic plans. You notice that under strategic plans we have draft and active, so it's just another way of filtering it. So I'm going to go to my draft. If you ever want to add something new and you have the option of a draft strategic plan or an active, it could be a draft funding opportunity, active funding opportunities. If you hit the draft, you have to go to the draft in order to be able to create a new one. As in this case, we have the button again, new. So I'm going to open one of these to describe it. Let me just open a new one again, hit the new button. Maybe we create, this is hopefully easy enough, a title. Star one, description, increase coverage, blah, blah, blah. Save it, and it's going to enable you to add objectives and goals. Okay, so you're familiar with this. Once you save an item, it's going to open up additional tabs for you to continue to enter the information that you may need to capture. In this case, we have only one tab, the Overview tab, where we can enter additional information. The attachments and the History tabs, the attachments, you're not entering information, you're actually attaching documents. This Attachments tab will be can be found again in every phase for every task. And once you this works similar, it's the same function, the same feature for all the phases. It works throughout the whole application. So you can add attachments by simply clicking on Add. Finding, okay, do you want to upload something that you already have from your from your computer that you have saved on your hard drive, or upload from your workspace? These are items that have already been uploaded and saved on your, think about it as in memory or up on your workspace on a network. So you don't have to go search for them. So that's kind of nice. So all you have to do is simply click on it, select the item. In this case, I'm just going to select one. You're going to attach it. And you're going to have to click on the X to close the box, so that I have attached the document here. The other key item that was important here that I did not show was that for attachments, you can attach as many as you want. We have a way to filter or indicate what type of attachment you're adding into the system, and this enables you to track and create reports based on this type. So you can, in this case, a strategic plan, but you could add all these different types. Think about it as like you're adding folders here. So it's a taxonomy of where you want what type of attachments you're keeping in here. And the file browse, this is in the case if I was just going to attach something from my hard drive. I think everyone's pretty much familiar with that. And you also have the ability to enter a description. So that functionality I want to cover, I'm covering up front everything that you use throughout the entire system. It works similar. Another feature is the notes, which is a great way. Again, this is just simple. It's a way to capture information that you don't want to lose track of, and it'll stay consistent. It'll be a permanent record of this item that you're adding it to. And this, again, should be available in all the different phases. So you will note here, once that you would have something of a meaningful description, title and description for your note, but more important, now you have something that you can monitor, or that has a date timestamp assigned to it and who it was created by. In certain circumstances, other people, like when you're working on an award or on a funding opportunity, there would be many people that could add notes to that record. So that's why that's important. In this case, it's really one person that's going to be working here, maybe more. But again, you have a way to track the information. Okay, I am going to the History tab. I'm going to show you the History tab, but what this is doing at this point in time, it's tracking changes to the fields. In this case, we have the field that was changed was the ID field. The old value was blank because, remember, I created this. There was nothing there. The new value, the system assigned it. Now, this, again, is a feature that exists throughout all the phases. The one thing that I will mention is that there is a limit of 20 fields that you're able to track per phase, per object, we call these. Okay, so it'll keep a history of that for you. Okay, and in this case, I completed entering a strategic plan, just basic information. Notice that it offers you the opportunity to enter the strategic goals and objectives. If I would have had key performance indicators that added, we could have displayed those here too. And later on, after we create a funding opportunity and create awards or apply for awards and are granted an award, those will be displayed here also as historical. So then you can see basically that information that you can tie back the grant to this strategy. Okay. Let me do something here. Let me stop the recording, and I know I've covered a lot of ground. Well, not really, but I want to give an opportunity for any questions. Okay, so we covered how to create a strategy. I'm going to show you some active strategies. If you notice, one thing about navigating throughout the system, all you have to do really is click where you want to go. There is no back button anywhere. Usually there's going to be a hyperlink, or you're just going to in my case, I just wanted to go back to see all the tables. I just clicked on the planning tab to display all the, in this case, federal programs. I can come over here. I could have gone, what I really should have done was come here to display on the left-hand side navigation menu. I wanted to see all the active strategic plans. So let me show you those. There's only 3 of them. I was going to open one up. There's the go. So you can see a breakdown of it. You can go inside of each of these. So I didn't add any to the one I opened. But let's just take a look at this to a completed one. So food collection. This is all test data. You would add collect cans, collect 500 cans of goods. And we are able to associate key performance indicators that were added. Okay. And we'll see later on if we can, maybe I'll keep this one and go, food collection. I know it doesn't make sense in terms of what you're doing. This is just testing, test material and training material. So what I was trying to point out is, let's say at this point, I wanted to go back to any of my strategic plan main tab. You notice here there's a hyperlink. If I click on that, it will take me back to the, consolidate, just take me back to the main page here. There's nowhere else I can drill out of here. So I'm just going to go to the next phase. I did note, I want to go back now to the Home tab, and there are a couple areas that I want to review right now that I left out. Let me describe the activities under the Home tab. Under the Home tab, under the activities, under organizations, we have a way to just view the information of who we most commonly work with. Federal organizations, so we would, in this case, we have loaded everything. We would, your admin can filter out and only display those federal organizations that you most commonly work with. And the idea behind that is that you would have their information handy. The system, again, is supposed to be your main workbench, the centralized point for all your grant activity. So the idea is for you not to have to leave the system. So if any information that you want to, that's what you're going to try to do, capture contact information in here. So once you're in here in OC EGMS, you'll be able to navigate and get to wherever you need to from within the system. Let me try to find something related. Notice I'm going here to the quick search. I'm assuming there has to be a transportation, something related to transportation. Yes, Department of Transportation. So now you see how that works. Well, I'm assuming those are going to be, maybe that's going to be one of the federal organizations that you most often work with. So you probably want to have their information handy here. We can download this information from SAM.gov or from a federal website, but you can also, more importantly, update the contacts. I scroll down, see here related contacts. The idea is that this is where you would enter who you most constantly work with. Have that information here so that you can again have it handy in the system. Okay, so it's a simple screen, enter the contact information, and you'll save it, and that's going to be added to the not only to this record, Department of Transportation, where you have all their address, their Google Map, the child organizations under that department and their codes, and under each one of those you can see more information. Okay, so it's once again a feature, but you would have the contacts. Similarly, the state organizations and others, it's the same concept. You could include those that you work the most with, state organizations that you capture information. And the concept is, again, that you could add context to it. I am going to go down here now. So these are just views of the areas that you usually work with. Notice that the last one, I'm leaving contacts, it's just going to display all the contacts that you've added throughout. I am going to now click on the county organizations, and this will display your hierarchy, right? Infrastructure and environmental. We know that there's 4 programs. Currently, you only have one active, the infrastructure and environmental resources, with 2 agencies, and under there, all the servicing areas. So, this is where you might want to maintain make sure this information is current. And as you add agencies, this tree would grow. This information, again, you notice here that you're not able, I'm logged in as a GA, this information is added by the administrator. The only area that you're adding are the contacts to these. So you have to work with your administrator to determine what and which organizations you want to load. The contacts is just to draw a listing of all the contacts. What I do want to show you here in this table, and once again, look, you notice that all the tables look very similar, right? We call these flex tables. On the top left of the flex table, you'll notice the title. In this case, it's all contacts. You'll see these 2 arrows pointing down. You'll see this throughout the different phases too, throughout the different flex tables that you are going to come across. That is a way to, it's a feature that enables you to further filter the information that's displayed here. So right now you can see that all contacts are being displayed. Well, let's say I only wanted to see my county contacts. I just click on that, and in this case, I think they're all might be fed. Okay, I said federal. We have no federal. All the contacts that we have are probably county. Yes, we've assigned all the contacts here. But that's the idea behind this. And again, you have your new button. You can also add contacts directly from here. You would have to know where these could be additional contacts. The key thing is that you would assign it an organization by using this organization search feature here. And you can search for the organization. So if you know the person, then you know they work for the Department of Transportation, you could probably find them. Yeah, and there are different areas for the department. It narrowed down your search, and you could assign that user to that department or to that organization. So there's two ways of entering it: directly through the organization, or just adding the contact directly and then assigning the organization.